Welcome to Math 1323 Explorations. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to jump right in here. According to the election, who is the best Ninja Turtle? If you recall, we actually discussed this on the very first day of class. Here is the votes for the election. And we're going to discuss the 4 types of voting methods. Actually, what I decided to do here is split this into 4 different videos with each method. That way they're shorter. It gives you smaller chunks to digest. Instead of doing one 40-minute video, it's going to be maybe about 4 10-minute videos. Try to keep them short as best we can. But we're going to get into all of this. If it was the plurality method, Leonardo would actually be the winner. So kudos to you, Leonardo. If it was the board account method, it would actually be Donatello. So Donatello would win there. If it was plurality with elimination, it's going to be Raphael. So good job to Raphael. But if it was the pairwise comparison, it was going to be Michelangelo. Now, don't fret. We are going to discuss all of these methods and give you definitions for those to make sure you understand why each winner is going to win in each particular election. One quick definition here, it says a candidate who receives more than 50% of the votes. Key word there is more than. More than 50% of the votes in an election is said to have a majority. A majority of the votes. Do any of the turtles have a majority? Well, let's see. We're going to use the first place votes. So if you take a look at the chart here, first off, let's actually get the total number of votes. So if you go back to the top of the chart, 19 people voted in this order, first, second, third, fourth. So we have 19 there. We've got 15 that voted Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, Leonardo in that order. We've got 11 that voted in the third order. We've got 7 that voted in this order, and we have 2 that voted in this order. If you add all of those up, you should get 54 votes. 54 votes here. So if we need a majority, we need more than 57 votes. So let's take a look at Leonardo received 19 first place votes. I'm going to draw an arrow here. That would be that number right here. Michelangelo, he actually received 15 plus 2 because of the 15 right here and the 2. So if you see, Michelangelo is actually the winner in 2 different columns. So we're going to give him the 17 votes that he earned. Raphael only picked up 11 first place votes. That's Raphael. Donatello picked up 7 first place votes. So Leonardo received the most votes here. However, 19 over 54 is actually 35%. 35% is less than or equal to 50%, and that is not a majority. So unfortunately, that is not a majority. So according to the definition of majority, do any of the turtles have a majority? Unfortunately, the answer is no. None of them. Now, Leonardo did receive the most first place votes in 19, but is that enough to win the election? Does the popular vote always end up winning the election? I find it interesting that the year is 2020 and this is an election year. I am not going to get political here. I'm just teaching math, but I find it interesting that we are discussing voting methods in an election year for our country. So there's not a majority right here. So I'm wondering if one of these 4 methods is going to be the most appropriate here. So that's just the first introduction. Let's go ahead and get on into the plurality method here. Plurality, this is the most commonly used method, and it honestly is the easiest method. Each voter votes for one candidate, and the candidate received the most votes is declared the winner. So we did this on the previous page. Let me go back to the blue here. Leonardo had 19. Michelangelo had 15 plus 2. Keep in mind that's the 15 and the 2 there for 17. Raphael had 11 votes. Donatello had 7 votes. This is if we don't rank them. As you see that the bottom votes are kind of grayed out a little bit. So let's just temporarily ignore those. If you only voted for one person, then it's going to be that top row. So as we see, Leonardo has the most. So Leonardo wins. So good job, Leonardo, for winning the plurality method here. Here's another example. 12 connoisseurs are asked to rank 3 ice cream parlors. Baskin-Robbins for B, Cold Stone Creamery for C, and the DQ Dairy Queen, fan food, not fast food, for D. Which parlor has the best ice cream using the plurality method? Well, just to make sure, the plurality method, each voter votes for only one candidate. The candidate receiving the most votes is declared the winner. So we have Baskin-Robbins gets 5. That's for this result here. We've got Cold Stone gets 4 plus 2. That's for these results here. So I'm color coding the writing. Dairy Queen only got 1. No love for DQ on the ice cream there. So based on the plurality method, there it is. 6. Cold Stone wins. Now, Cold Stone wins based on the plurality method. Does Cold Stone have a majority? I'm just curious what your thoughts are on the majority. Does Cold Stone have a majority? Well, there are 12 votes. Cold Stone has 6. That's 6 out of 12, which is 50%. Majority, yes or no? Unfortunately, no. Why is that not a majority? Well, because it's 50. Wasn't majority supposed to be more than 50? So I have actually heard, I grew up in church, and we would have our annual business meeting. If you went to an AG church or maybe Church of God or the Baptist, Methodist, a host of denominations do this. But I've heard of the term simple majority, and simple majority is 50 plus 1. So you define where 50% is, and we just need 1 vote more than 50% to be simple majority. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. So congratulations to Cold Stone for winning using the plurality method. Okay, we're going to stop the video here and go with the board account method on the next video.